In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we spend some time with Falmouth's new town manager. Stop by for a bit of fun for our furry friends at Highfield Hall and Gardens, and learn more about Falmouth's many outdoor trails for your summer walks. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I'm Eileen Preston. Michael Renshaw, formerly a county commissioner in Georgia, recently took the position of Falmouth town manager earlier this spring. I sat down with him this week in an effort to gain some insights into his experience and capture his impressions of our town.
I'm really excited to be part of the Falmouth community as its newest town manager. I think that there's a huge opportunity for us as a management team within Town Hall and working with the community, the various boards and committees, some of which I've already been able to visit with, to really move Falmouth forward. So I'm really looking forward to that opportunity. I have found a place to live, staying in East Falmouth temporarily for the first couple of months, and then I'll be moving into an area just north of North Falmouth in Pocasset. So the focus of emphasis that I really want people to know about me as the town manager is my accessibility. I think it's really important for the manager to be accessible to the public. So please, whenever there's an issue, a challenge that you'd like to discuss, my door is always open and my cell phone's posted on our website. So I'd encourage everybody to reach out.
Thanks to Mike Renshaw for taking the time to join us for that exclusive update. We look forward to witnessing the impact of his leadership at Town Hall and the positive changes he aims to bring about.
It's time now for FCTV's condensed version of takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
The Water Quality Management Committee reported to the Select Board their intention to ask town meeting to reconsider last April's vote against the T-Ticket-Acapesket sewer project funding.
A couple of people have said, well, stop sewers, we should rethink. We've been thinking about this since the committee was first put together. We go back to that graph that Eric put up very early on. Great Pond is our biggest challenge in terms of the amount of nitrogen to pull out, the way that whole system works. We can't be chipping away at little amounts. We've got to really remove nitrogen, and the sewer will do that. It's the one thing that is certain to remove it. It's not a demonstration. It's not a pilot. It's not a hopeful. It's a big project, but we know that it will make a positive impact on that pond. So the homeowners actually pay quite a bit of money back. So if the town hypothetically borrows $40 million for a sewer project, at the end of the day, the homeowners are paying 70% of that cost through the betterment, and the town's only picking up 30% of the cost at the end of the day. So there's a cost to the town and a cost to the homeowners. But I think if you go to the Mara Vista Peninsula, you'll find that homeowners, I think Eric mentioned in one of his slides, that nobody wanted to sign up for the eco toilet, even though there was a lot of money, because I think at the end of the day, a lot of homeowners view being connected to the sewer as an improvement to their property, which it is, and that it increases the value of their property under resale.
The committee expressed confidence in an ocean outflow pipe, noting studies suggest the pipe be placed in Vineyard Sound rather than Buzzards Bay.
The town's preferred option for mid and long-term discharge of all treated wastewater is an outfall in Vineyard Sound, and the town will proceed with permitting and implementing an ocean outfall.
We're all talking about it fairly knowledgeably. We've been down in the eelgrass on this topic for a long time. The world at large has not been there, and they're not quite sure what an outfall is, and they need a lot of information before they feel comfortable with it. We feel real comfortable with it. When you think about it, Vineyard Sound probably gets 100 times more nitrogen from atmospheric deposition than it will ever get from a Falmouth outfall. I mean, we're talking about 2 million gallons a day. That that comes down in the rain in half an hour, any good day.
Your board has not taken a similar vote, but I would ask you to consider, as you learn about how this is going, taking that vote, because it will help both with the permitting agencies, with some advocacy groups, to know that the town is not just considering an outfall, but is committed to an outfall.
The board did not vote on the recommendations, but rather took the report under advisement.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org.
We were thrilled recently to attend the 3rd annual Cops and Cars event, hosted by the Falmouth Police Department at Falmouth High School. With each passing year, the event has blossomed into a larger and more vibrant celebration.
We stopped by to see the sights and to chat with organizers to find out not only what makes this event so special, but also how it has evolved and expanded to become such a popular summer event.
So at our event today, as you can see behind me, we have a Touch a Truck car show. A Touch Truck is an event where all these companies actually bring down their equipment for kids to sit in, look at, check out, and there's a lot of police equipment here that children can sit inside of, get to see all the stuff that we have. There's fire trucks, everything a kid could want to play with. It's a great event, family event. It's held here locally. You have food trucks, ice cream trucks, the sheriff's department, the state police. We have Dunk-A-Cop. There's many great things to come here and see.
So my name's Andrew Colonna. Me and my good friend, Officer Josh Oliver, Falmouth Police Department, kind of came up with this idea.
So this event, I basically came up with in my kitchen one day when I was out for shoulder surgery. I was looking for a reason to get back to the community. And I had dealt with Tommy's Place the January before when they were dedicating one of the rooms to a young man, Danny, who ended up passing away from his condition. He was my son's age, so it struck a string, and I wanted to do something to help this place out.
He called me one night. Everybody in town was basically helping put together the Tommy's Place that's located in Falmouth. Local companies, local laborers, all putting in their time and efforts. And he said, hey, what can we do? Why don't we do a car show? I'll bring the first responders. I'm a car guy, so I instantly said 100%, I'm all in. So we kind of started putting together everything. Carl Cavosa from Cavosa Disposal called me. He said, you need to make it a Touch a Truck too. Josh and I said, these kids in 2021 hadn't had anything that they could go to. So we were on board with that. We started off with something that we thought would be something very small. The day of, all of a sudden we have food trucks, we have cool cars, first responders.
So our first year, we came up with the car show. We figured maybe we'll raise $2,000 to help them out. First year, we raised $16,000.
Last year, we raised over $62,000. We have a team of volunteers behind us that are amazing. I mean, they come to do these events. Josh's wife, Kayla, she helps organize all them and get all the raffles ready. We have this team. Honestly, it's one of the more special things I've done in my life.
Due to the generosity of all the local businesses that actually donated, and then our local community come out and supporting the day of the event, it was unbelievable. This year, we're roughly around, I believe, 35,000 right now before the event. Where we'll be at, I don't know until we count everything up. I'm hoping to be over 40 without a problem. But like I said, every little bit helps for this amazing cause. And please come out next year and join us. We'll be doing this again.
The beneficiary of the funds raised by the event, Tommy's Place, named in honor of deceased longtime resident Tommy Leonard, provides a much-needed respite for families of children battling cancer.
After a short break, we'll look back at another popular annual event. Stay with us.
A message from the Upper Cape Women's Coalition.
We firmly believe that conflicts within our homes, our community, and our country can be resolved by listening to each other, learning from each other, and respecting each other.
Renewed efforts to ensure that women's lives are safe, free of fear, intimidation, and violence in our homes, at work, and in our neighborhoods, no matter where we're from, whom we love, or how we identify.
Women's bodies are respected. A healthcare system that takes our needs seriously, from research to treatment to supporting women making decisions about when and if to start a family.
Women's work is valued. We are paid and promoted equally, so we are able to retire with dignity. Women's families are supported. Policies allowing women to make responsible decisions between family and work. Women are represented from school boards to the White House, and all votes are protected and counted.
We send you warm wishes to all.
Welcome back. The Strawberry Festival, an old-fashioned celebration of summer dating back to 1951, was held recently at the Great Lawn of St. Barnabas's Episcopal Church. The rain didn't dampen the attendees' enjoyment of the event, especially the sumptuous strawberry shortcake, adorned with generous dollops of fresh whipped cream and lobster rolls, grilled hot dogs, and hamburgers.
Wow, pretty hungry there. So good. We simply had to stop by and find out more about this year's summer classic.
Strawberry Festival!
So my name is Reverend Will Mebane. I'm the rector here at St. Barnabas's Memorial Episcopal Church in Falmouth, Massachusetts, on Cape Cod, in the land of the Wampanoag. And my role is to serve as the senior pastor here. And I get to take credit for everything that's happening today, but I had very little to do with it. This is a volunteer-run event, the 71st year of the Strawberry Festival. We had over 130 people that volunteered. This year we had a number of nonprofit organizations that are also here introducing people to their services and what they're all about. The rain has been a bit of a damper, but it hasn't stopped people from coming out. It's been a steady stream through the whole afternoon, and we're still selling lobster rolls and hamburgers and cheeseburgers and hot dogs and, most importantly, strawberry shortcake. So we want people to know that we'll be offering strawberry shortcake also this summer as part of our Lobster on the Lawn Monday evenings in July and August. So stay tuned for more information about that.
My name is Lois Ferreira. I the team lead for the jewelry table, and we collect jewelry and we try to turn somebody's jewelry junk into jewelry joy, and people have a lot of fun with it, so it's fun to do.
Well, one thing that's very important about the Strawberry Festival is that it's a way of us supporting events and activities and organizations in the community. St. Barnabas does provide, through our community engagement ministry, grants to deserving organizations that are doing good works in the community. We obviously can't do all of it ourselves. We do our part. And so a portion of the proceeds from the Strawberry Festival and the Summer at St. B's events that we have will go to support the various nonprofit organizations that are in Falmouth and the Upper Cape.
I think everybody looks forward to it every year. All my friends look forward to it. It's just a fun event.
Michael, did you know that during the 1930s, Falmouth was one of the largest producers in the USA of strawberries?
Yes, I did. That's just one of the many interesting facts about our town. The Strawberry Festival is the first of many fun, entertaining, and free events at St. Barnabas's this summer. Visit stbfalmouth.org for more information.
Summer events in Falmouth are an absolute delight, especially when they cater to our furry friends. Recently, Highfield Hall and Gardens held their Hounds of Highfield event, and FCTV was there.
From spirited dog contests and a lively doggy parade with creative costumes to an exhilarating obstacle course and a captivating service dog demonstration, there was no shortage of entertainment. Let's find out more.
So we are at Highfield Hall and Gardens in Falmouth, and this is the second annual Hounds of Highfield community event that we've done. It is a free event open to the public. At Highfield, we want to encourage everyone to come up here and walk the grounds, and we really do like to do some free community events out on our lawn, just welcoming everyone here. And everyone loves dogs.
I was just in Falmouth for the day and heard news of this event, so figured we could bring Lily out and go show her around, maybe meet some new dogs, go to some booths, and just experience a little bit of the fun natural side of Falmouth. I think that agility contest that they were hosting for the dogs to do, I think that was very cool, very awesome. We had a little trooper right here. She tried her best, but couldn't complete the course. I think it's awesome for the community to have everybody come out, kind of show up for the dogs and help just to spread awareness and get it going. Lily here, she's a little skittish and nervous around other dogs, but I think it was just the atmosphere alone that really brought her out of her shell and made her be able to make new friends.
We brought our family dog, Mr. Finn, with us. We entered Mr. Finn in the best kisser and the best tail wagger. I think we were robbed in the best tail wagging, but he gave it his best effort, and every dog's a winner today. This is our first time at this event, so we're very excited, and I think we're going to add it to our summer things to do here in Falmouth.
When Highfield was first being restored back in 2006-ish, 2008, or maybe even 2010, they did a Hounds of Highfield event for a couple of years, and it was really popular and successful. And for some reason, we stopped doing it. I wasn't here then, but Highfield stopped doing it, and the community kept asking us to bring back Hounds of Highfield. So last year we did, and we'll keep it going.
Highfield Hall has a number of exhibits and programs throughout the year, and especially in the summer. To see their schedule, visit highfieldhallandgardens.org. Thanks to Julia Idursky for that video.
Morse Pond School was the site of Falmouth Amateur Radio Association's annual Field Day, where local radio operators showcased both their emergency communication skills and dedication to public service.
Join us as we delve into the importance of amateur radio and how FARA's participation in ARRL Field Day contributes to community engagement and disaster preparedness in Falmouth.
This is Ham Radio Field Day, which is kind of like the 4th of July for ham radio operators.
As of right now, we are at the Morse Pond School in Falmouth, and we are doing a field day for ham radio. And pretty much what that is a bunch of people around the world get together and they make contacts with each other and they communicate, and we log that in a book, and we get points for everything that we log.
Get on the air, or GOTA, as we refer to it, is a chance for someone who is not a ham radio operator to actually operate. We'll hand you the microphone and we'll teach you how to call and get a feel for it. And if you like it, then you come and visit us at the club, and we'll help you get your amateur radio license.
I participate in the ham radio stuff just because as a younger guy, it's more older, male dominated, so I like to kind of add a pizzazz of digital technology to it as well. There's a lot of digital sides of ham radio that some older folks don't really see or don't really understand, and I like to introduce that to them and kind of show them the new techniques and new aspects of it.
Amateur radio is operated by private citizens and form groups like clubs, and it originally started as a way to communicate around, and as radios became more and more sophisticated and we started being able to talk around the country, around the world, a lot of what we do, especially in the long distance things, is the radio waves bounce off the ionosphere. So it'll bounce off the ionosphere and come back down somewhere on Earth.
So others get involved by public information put out by the Ham Radio Club, FARA, as well. Friends and family come out here, they see signs, they see their other friends coming out here, and they just have a great day and enjoy it.
It'd be lovely to get in touch with us personally here at the Falmouth Amateur Radio Club. If you're further down Cape, this is the Barnstable Amateur Radio Club, and they also do the same type of thing with bringing people online, classes, license testing. You can find us on the website, or if you just Google amateur radio, you'll probably find ARRL, which is the Amateur Radio Relay League. That is our national body. And their website will hook you up with whatever you need. You can look up a local club. That's the way you can contact the club. And someone will obviously get back to you and talk to you about what amateur radio is about and let you kind of play with it and see how you feel about it. So that's kind of what we're doing here at Field Day.
For more information about the Falmouth Amateur Radio Association and their upcoming events, be sure to visit falara.org. Thanks to Dalton Webb for that report.
After the break, we'll look at a local program designed to help us understand the injustices in the history and current state of our food system. Stay with us. The Falmouth Education Fund recently held a meeting to spotlight some of the programs they sponsor in the schools. One of these is the Race, Climate, and Food program at Falmouth High School.
This program, designed to engage our community, to recognize historic injustices, and take action to ensure a fair food future in a changing climate. Let's find out more.
I'm the food justice instructor at Falmouth High School. This program has been a long time coming to get to the high school back in the summer of 2020. The program is all about giving students a view or a lens into their food and where it comes from, right? It's very easy to take your food for granted. It's very easy to get your food at the store and not think much about what happens behind the scenes, right? So one of the primary goals is to bring some practical agriculture to Falmouth High School, get students out there on the land growing food for our community. The DPW were very kind in providing some assistance in clearing a bit of space out of the back of the high school and leveling out the grounds so that we could use the money that FEF have kindly given us to build this big greenhouse out the back of the high school. This is a movable feast. We can move this thing from one location to another. Over the course of the early summer, my team, with the Food Justice Initiative, which is the nonprofit we've set up to support this program, put the FEF money into practice by building the structure, building the infrastructure of beds, and starting to build together the resources that we'd need to teach this program, classroom materials and other things like that. We put in a lot of plantings over the summer so that when the students arrived in September, this is in August, but in September there was a greenhouse that was full of plants ready to go, and the students could start learning about how to maintain that area and grow food for themselves. Over the course of the first month of their program, students learned how to plant outside. September's a great time to plant on the Cape. You've got a few months left of good light and good warmth conditions. Students are planting all kinds of things in various spaces around the farm area that we call it out there. But come October, some of those things inside the greenhouse, even though we've been able to extend their season into October, were starting to fade in their brilliance. And so it was time to de-rig a lot of the plants inside the greenhouse and actually bring this movable greenhouse to its to use it to its full potential, which is to protect these summer crops into the fall, but then move it so that we can actually slide this thing down over some fall plantings so we can extend our harvest all the way to the winter break. The core of the class is to learn about the history of our food and the science of climate change and how our food system is going to be affected going forward. By this point, the students' things that they'd planted that are now covered by the greenhouse were growing really well, and the great things you can grow in the fall are things like lettuces and Asian greens and things like that. These things grew to fruition come November time, and we put some sand in the greenhouse to make the ground underfoot really nice. And we had a really luscious feast there come November time with lots of different kinds of Asian greens, lettuces, radishes, and all kinds of things like that. We had so much surplus at that point, we actually gave a staff and student giveaway. It was a big success. We gave away 30 bags of stir-fry vegetables. Caitlin Hackett from the culinary department actually helped us out with a recipe as well that we sent home with them as well. At the same time, we were also producing a lot of vegetables that we were giving to the school cafeteria. We gave them a lot of tomatoes and eggplant, and then lettuces come later on in the season. So we're already starting to get the food out there into the community, and I think it's for the students to help us understand exactly how we can serve the community going forward in that regard. The last thing that's been happening out there in January was time to replant for the new season. It's time, the light is coming back. we can keep things nice and warm inside that greenhouse. And so the students, as their last act of the first semester of the program, planted out lettuces, beets, and onions and leeks out there in the greenhouse to grow for the new year.
Stay tuned to Falmouth in Focus to see highlights of more of the many innovative programs that the Falmouth Education Fund helps sponsor. Thanks to Ryan Weber for that package.
The 300 Committee, a private, nonprofit land trust dedicated to protecting and preserving natural lands, have been working to enhance the accessibility of public spaces in Falmouth. To delve deeper into their ongoing efforts, we had the privilege of interviewing Jessica Wittenauer, the Executive Director of the 300 Committee.
During our conversation, she enlightened us on the organization's endeavors and shared valuable information on discovering accessible parks near you.
Hi, I'm Jessica Rittenauer. I'm the Executive Director of the 300 Committee Land Trust. The 300 Committee's mission is to preserve open space throughout Falmouth. A major emphasis of our work is connecting people with nature. We believe that providing inclusive and equitable access to Falmouth's conservation and recreation areas should be a major priority. We started working on accessibility initiatives back in 2009, initially with the Bartolome Conservation Area. And then the 300 Committee continued along those lines, working on the T-Ticket Park accessibility and Two Ponds Conservation Area, and most recently the Coonamessett Greenway Heritage Trail. When the Coonamessett Greenway Heritage Trail was in the planning efforts, there was an initiative to put together funds so that the town of Falmouth could make the trails around the River Loop area handicap accessible. There was an overwhelming response to a matching challenge, and we were able to raise over $290,000. So very clearly, the support is there from the community, and we are so grateful for those who have helped us to create these infrastructure, boardwalks and trails within these gorgeous natural areas. We decided to create the video because we wanted to familiarize people with these natural spaces that have accessible features. We are able to feature our website, which is coded with wheelchair accessible icon so that folks can navigate the website and see which of the properties are currently handicap accessible. There are trail maps available there. The video also includes information on how to access these parcels. They're essentially guided tours of these properties.
When we put this video together, we decided to include additional areas where people can get outside that are accessible, including Falmouth beaches, the bike path, Highfield Hall, and the dog park.
The 300 Committee is committed to continuing this work with the town and with our community partners because we believe that the ability to spend time totally immersed in nature is an essential part of life for all of us. We hope to see you out on the trails.
With the option to download and print 24 individual trail maps in PDF format from the 300 Committee's website at 300committee.org, exploring the natural beauty of Falmouth has become more convenient than ever. Thanks to FCTV member producer Allison Leshin for that report.
FCTV wants to remind you that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us.
Email us your photos and videos or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors.
We leave you now with the sights and sounds of the 4th of July fireworks at Falmouth Heights. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.